Hi, everyone. So we've been digging deep into base 10 number systems, like the Egyptian number system, the Chinese number system, both base 10 number systems, just like we have 10 fingers on our hands, right? The reason we know that these are base 10 number systems is if you look at the ancient Egyptian symbols, they're all powers of 10. 1, 10, 100, which is 10 to the second power, 1,000, which is 10 to the third power, and so on. Those are powers of 10. Ditto with the ancient Chinese system. They also used powers of 10. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, all powers of 10. But today we're going to look at a system that does not use powers of 10. We're going to look at the Mayan number system, which was base 20. This is really exciting because using a completely different base system really helps us understand our own base system. Plus, this system is actually taught in New York City in 5th grade. So if you do get a chance to teach 5th grade, you'll actually use this number system. So how did the number system start? It started just with one dot. One dot was 1. And then it added another dot for 2, right? So 2 dots is 2. And 3 dots is 3. But usually they'd be lined up, right? So we can position them all right next to each other. And so 4 dots is 4. And 5 dots, nope, wait a second. They didn't actually use 5 dots. Instead of 5 dots, they used a line. And that's because it's really hard to tell 5 dots altogether. It's much easier to tell a line. So 5 was one line. Then 6 was a line and a dot. 7 was a line and 2 dots, 5 plus 2, and so on. If you look at some of these later numbers, like 17, 17 is made out of 5, another 5, that's 5, 10, 15, and then 2 dots to make 17. But after we get to 19, that's when things start changing. The whole pattern that we were looking at here from 1 to 19 becomes really different. So let's talk about that system. Mayan number system was base 20, which is like all your fingers and all your toes. And so when they got to making the number 20, they used the 20s place. That's the next place up. So there was 1 in the 20s place and then a 0. I know right now you're saying, what? That looks like 1, 0 looks like 10 to me. But bear with me for a second. If we wanted to make the number 40, we would use 2 dots and then a 0. That's 2 20s. Feel like you're getting a hang of it a little bit? Now think for a second, what if you want to make the number 60? So 60, how many 20s is in the number 60? To make 60, I would make 1, 2, 3 dots, 3 dots, and then a 0 would make 60. So we know the number 100 was not written 100. Instead, to make the number 100, we would want to figure out how many 20s were in that number. So in the number 100, let's see, if I do 100 divided by 20 on my calculator or in my head, let's see, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. There are 5 20s that fit into 100. 100 divided by 20 is 5. And so this is how we would make the number 100, with a 5 and a 0. Now let's look at a few more higher examples. Let's make the number 287. To make the number 287, think about how many 20s you're going to need. So you can divide on your calculator, ignoring that decimal. We would need 14 in the 20s place. So there's our 14. And then how much is left over? Well, you take the 280, which is 14 times 20, and subtract. And 287 minus 280, I would have 7 more that I had to have in the ones place. So I want you to think about this a little bit. This video is short, right? So that you can just watch a short intro and then go ahead and read about it a little bit and see if you can do some of the Mayan numbers yourself. And then come to the discussion and ask questions. I'm just going to tell you one more thing, which is the next place higher is the 360th place. The reason they did that is because that's close to the number of days in a year. So the next higher symbols go in the 360th place, then the 20th place, and then the ones place to make some numbers. So I want you to think about how you would make the number 803. Think about how many 360s you would need, and then how many 20s, and how many ones. And I'm going to stop the recording here and ask you to think about it, and then turn to the textbook and see if you got it right. See you there.